Our guest is Dr. Russell Johnston. He is the superintendent of schools in West Springfield. He will be leaving August 1st to take a job with the Massachusetts Department of Primary and Secondary Education. I love the title of your new job, Senior Associate Commissioner for Accountability, Partnerships, and Technical Assistance. What went into your decision to leave West Springfield? You've been there for 10 years, superintendent for 4 years, and to take this state post.
Absolutely. So it was the most difficult decision I've ever had to make in my life. I've loved West Springfield. I love what we do, what we're about, the accomplishments that we've had together there. And I was very honored to be even considered for this position. To think, though, that I might be able to make a difference on an even larger level, to impact and hopefully positively improve educational outcomes for students from, the Cape to the Berkshires, really is something that I feel called to do.
Let's deconstruct that job title a little bit. It's really amazing. Senior Associate Commissioner for Accountability, Partnerships, and Technical Assistance. Accountability, if I understand it accurately, it's about making sure the state and the local schools are each doing what they're supposed to be doing for elementary, middle schools, high school students across the Commonwealth. Is that about right?
Absolutely. The thing that I like about this position is it's asking two questions. How effective are our schools? And then what does it take to help them become even more effective? So the accountability piece is asking the effectiveness question, and the assistance piece is what can be done to help them improve even further, and what could be more important.
And partnership, we're talking partnership of state and local government? Are we talking partnership, private sector, public sector? Is it all of the above?
It really is across the board partnership. It's also partnership with the teachers associations and unions across the Commonwealth. A very, very valuable player, valuable resource, obviously no more important resource in our schools. So it's business, public partnerships across the board to improve public education.
Let's go back a minute, backtrack. You mentioned, but the technical assistance. I mean, if you think about it, with everything local schools are asked to do, sometimes with state funding, sometimes not for mandates, anything it seems the state or anybody can do to assist in any way has got to be really important today.
Absolutely, but we want to make sure that the assistance is effective. We don't want to offer support that won't actually yield good results for our students. So I think we definitely want to be engaged with schools, listening to what has been effective. What do different districts need from across the Commonwealth? It's not the same for everyone. And so I think that the support has to be targeted. It can't just be across the board and the same for everyone.
Now, again, if I understand things correctly, looking at the state department's information when your appointment was announced, if a school is found to be deficient, they're not getting the job done, not getting the grades and test scores higher, is it fair to say you're part of then determining what sort of action or intervention is needed from the Commonwealth, how you turn that around?
Certainly. That will be a big part of my job, is to oversee that. The turnaround of lowest performing schools, the most underperforming schools, is a crucial role that the department plays. That's obviously a big part of the center that I'll be working for, that I'll be guiding. And I think what we'll be asking is, if it's not working now, then what more needs to be done? What can we do differently in a rapid turnaround type of way? Because kids' lives are going by. A student doesn't have a chance to repeat second grade. We've got to make sure that second grade is effective their first time through.
Okay, let's get down into the particulars as best you can. And I know it's tough. You haven't started the job yet, but you certainly have an extensive background in education. Numbers come in from a school anywhere in the Commonwealth, and they're not what they ought to be. They're not improving. Maybe they're even dropping. What happens? How do you go in and try and figure out just what's wrong in this community, in this school?
Well, for most of the schools in the Commonwealth, we want the districts themselves to be asking that question. It's not the role of the department to fix everything for everyone. The department's main role that I see is to create the conditions so that schools are constantly learning organizations where they work and strive to improve education because of their own analysis of the data. And 1 year does not make a trend. And so for many districts, including West Springfield, where I've worked, I know that it's a slower process. It's a more deliberate process. And so for most districts, that will be work that I want to play in making them learning organizations. There are some districts, though, that we will have to make sure where we turn around more rapidly, more quickly, more responsibly. And that's where we take limited resources and make sure that we apply them well from the department and really focus on those level 5 schools, the level 4 schools where we have to see the most rapid turnaround.
Let's give you a chance to blow West Springfield School's horn a little bit in the final couple of minutes of our interview. Commissioner Mitch Chester, when he announced your appointment, he said, look, we saw a dropout rate that's falling in West Springfield, improving test scores, and a 10% increase in the graduation rates in West Springfield in your 4 years as superintendent, from 71.7% to an 81.6% graduation rate. All of those numbers are impressive. How does the community make that happen?
You know, again, it's deliberate, purposeful action. It's not just throwing money at a problem. It's saying what particular resources do we need to bring together, both human capital and financial, in order to make a difference. So it's things like our dropout prevention committee that works directly with families, that goes into families' homes and asks, what is the barrier? What is stopping this student from coming to school? We also have an innovation school. So this is a special school for students who have identified themselves as being highly at risk for dropping out. And the school is really calibrated differently than a typical high school and more able to meet their needs.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you began your educational career as a special education teacher. How do you think that helped prepare you for the overall broader challenges being a superintendent, now going to the state level?
You know, as a special educator, you have to think about what helps every individual learn. And you also need to know a lot about special education law. You need to know about the field of medicine. You need to know about finances. And you also need to know about the general curriculum as well. So I really enjoyed absorbing all of that through my career as a special educator, and really making some strong partnerships with regular education teachers that have, I think, really been the hallmark of my work.
There are those who say there may be too much emphasis on testing, teaching to the tests. I know someone in education who said it shouldn't have been called No Child Left Behind, it should have been called No Child Left Untested, or MCAS, or Race to the Top. Is there really any other way to truly measure across a state or a nation what's working in a classroom and what's not?
We want to make sure that the test is comprehensive and that it's actually an authentic assessment of what we're teaching in our schools, and that if our standards are strong, as I believe that they are with the Common Core and the new mass frameworks, we need an assessment that shows to what extent are we teaching those new standards. And so I actually believe in statewide testing strongly, and not the movement towards a more nationwide testing is, I think, very much needed. We need to grow and improve as a nation. We need to be competitive. I want our children to make a difference in the global economy, and they're not going to if we don't have a unified, systematic way of knowing how they're doing and then making improvements based on those data.
Dr. Russell Johnston, Superintendent of Schools in West Springfield, thanks for coming in. Good luck in the new job.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.